Hey, Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is part 2 of the transit of Venus and Aries that will take place on April 9th through May 4th of 2021. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So in the first part of this video, we talked about the major transits and how this will affect us collectively. In this one, we are going to talk specifically about how this will play out in your chart. So we will go ahead and get into each of the 12 signs and how this will affect you. First, we're going to start off here with the cardinal signs. So if you are an Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, this is for you. Starting off with Aries, we have Venus that is shifting into your first house. So this is a huge time for reinventing yourself, for focusing on your appearance and how you are presenting yourself, especially not only because Venus is in your first house, but also because we have Uranus that Venus will come into a conjunction with at the beginning of this transit. So this is a huge time of focusing on the changes that you want to make within yourself. Are you completely happy and satisfied with how you are? This is a big time, if you are not, to make the necessary changes, to make the improvements that are needed. Venus also making an aspect over to your 7th house is giving a huge impact on your relationships. So the way that you appear, the way that you are coming off is going to affect your relationships. This is a time where you can come off as more attractive, more friendly, more approachable with this Venus energy here in your first house. Now, the moon is also going to transit through this in your first house as well. And so this can also be a time where you come off as more friendly and hospitable, as the moon also comes into a conjunction with this Venus. And more changes to come with the moon in there, as well, as the moon is a fluctuating factor. So this is hugely a transit of you coming off as someone who is more friendly, more attractable, more approachable, and especially with the sun in there, someone who is very magnetic, someone who's very charismatic, someone who can grab the attention of others. This can also be a huge time, as Mercury will be in there as well, of being someone who is more communicative, social, friendly. This Mercury, though, remember, is going to be in a combustion, and Venus as well. These will not always be in a combustion, as especially Mercury is always going to be close to the sun. And so this is a time where you may see some difficulties around socializing and connecting with these energies. But for the majority, this is going to give you a positive appearance to others. Very magnetic, very charming, very charismatic. You may find yourself attracting more people with this energy. Now, moving on here to Cancer. This is for those of you with the Cancer rising or Cancer moon. So Venus will be transiting through your 10th house of career and status. This is a huge time where you can come off as very attractive, very friendly, very hospitable in your work environment. This may be a time where you are seeking to help others more in your work. And so especially if you are in a field that involves nursing or social work or any sort of career that involves helping others, this becomes a huge time where you're wanting to make others feel more comfortable, more relaxed. Remember that your 4th house is controlled by Venus as well. So this really becomes a time of wanting to make others feel more comfortable, where you come off in your work environment as very friendly, very hospitable, especially with Venus also controlling your 11th house. So this is a huge time where others are going to love your presence in your work environment, in your status, in the way that you're presenting yourself. We are also going to have the moon and Uranus that are going to come across this Venus energy as well. So you may find yourself having to shift in your career area, having to make sudden changes or do things differently. There could also be a potential to move and change location, especially as we will also have a full moon in your 4th house that will aspect back over to this Venus in your 10th house. And so your career may take you to a new location, or you may be planning putting money aside for a new change in location from your career life. So this is a huge focus here on these shifts and changes that can take place for you. We're also going to see the Sun and Mercury meet up with this energy as well. And so this may be an energy, again, where you're traveling, you're moving. Mercury does control your 12th house. And so this is a huge time where you can find yourself shifting in location, moving around in location. This is also controlling your 5th house. I'm sorry, this is also controlling your 3rd house. And so this can really be a huge time of traveling, of moving, of thinking of traveling, of socializing, of connecting, of looking for those little changes and opportunities in your life. And with the Sun there, the Sun controlling your 2nd house, once again, you can see yourself changing residency, that 2nd house being connected to your security, to your family, to your upbringing. And so this can really be a time of needing resources or thinking about using resources to make some sort of change in your actual standings. For those of you with a Libra rising or Libra moon, Venus will be transiting through your 7th house. And so this is a huge time of relationships. For those of you looking for some more peace, for some more connection in relationships, this is a great time to make some negotiations, to come to a peaceful place, especially as this is Venus and Aries. This is a contrasting energy. Remember that Venus is your ruler and Aries is the opposite. And so with the Venus here in Aries, this is giving an interesting flavor where this Venusian energy is meeting up in a Martian ruled sign. And so there can be a little bit of an issue here in terms of dominance, in terms of making peaceful agreements and negotiations. This can be a great learning opportunity to find some peace, to find some closure in these areas that need work and improvement relationship wise. We're also going to see the moon and Uranus transit through here as well. So you can see some big shifts and changes in your relationship area. This may be a big time of releasing or letting go, again, finding some closure, especially as we will have a full moon in your 1st house opposing Venus in the 7th house. And so this can be a huge time of ending an old chapter that no longer serves you or coming to a point of closure in this area. We're also going to see the Sun and Mercury shift through here as well. And so this is a huge time, once again, of seeing some big changes taking place. Mercury is a very beneficial planet for those of you with a Libra ascendant. So this can help you greatly in letting go and moving up spiritually, energetically in your life as Mercury is controlling your 2 spiritual houses. And so this becomes a huge time of letting go and making room for growth and improvement in this area. We also are going to see the Sun here. Sun is controlling that 11th house, so you could see some major changes in your friendships or connections. This can also be a big time for you to excel in your business, as this is transiting through your 7th house and controlling your 11th house. These 2 houses connected to business. This can be a huge time of moving up, leveling up, changing your career. These things can happen in this area. So huge time to focus on your hopes and dreams, your future plans, excelling, moving forward towards the life that you want to live that serves you the greatest. For those of you with a Capricorn moon or Capricorn ascendant, Venus will be transiting through your 4th house. And so this becomes a great time of finding some peace within your home. Venus shifting through this 4th house, this is a great time to come back to your home, to come back to your sanctuary, to go within. Venus, even though it is in Aries where it feels uncomfortable, Venus is directionally strong in the 4th house. This gives you a great advantage of finding some peace, finding some comfort in your life. So for those of you who have been working, who have been being productive, who have been going through some stressful situations, This Venus gives you an opportunity to find that peace, to find that inner peace and happiness within yourself. We're also going to see the moon transiting through here. Again, the moon is directionally strong in this fourth house as well. So this can give you some great comfort, some great peace, some great time to reflect and go within and do some clearing internally through this house. We're also going to see Uranus come through here, so you can see some unexpected shifts and changes in your home environment or simply in the things that bring you peace and comfort. This can be a time where you could all of a sudden think about buying a new car, buying a new house, doing something that brings some sort of peace and relaxation, something that is luxurious or comforting. You could find yourself wanting to move or gravitate towards this, especially as Venus is a karka for luxury coming into this fourth house. Now we're also going to see the sun come through here. The sun is a difficult planet for those of you with a Capricorn moon or Capricorn ascendant. This can be a bit challenging during this time. This is a great time to work on your confidence, your self-esteem. With the sun controlling your 8th house, it is a great time to face those inner conflicts and difficulties. Once again, with this energy in the 4th house, huge time to reflect, to go inward. This can be a good time, once again, to retreat to the home, to meditate, to find that space of comfort and relaxation. This is going to bring about some major healing in this phase of your life, especially as we have had all of these planets transiting through your first house. Huge changes with Pluto in that first house and Saturn. Very difficult, as a lot of you have been going through these intense changes and transformations. We're also going to see Mercury come through this 4th house. Mercury is a positive planet for those of you with a Capricorn moon or Capricorn ascendant. This can really give you some peace of mind, some clarity, really clear some things up for you where you are finding some peace, finding some closure that can really help you in a huge way in this area. So this is huge for a lot of you. You are finding that sense of peace and closure. You're able to clear out those things that no longer serve you and move up, level up with this 9th house rulership of Mercury. So let's go ahead and shift forward here to the fixed signs. So starting off here, if you are a Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant, Venus will be transiting through your 12th house. This is a great time to go inward, to self-reflect, to look inward towards the things that need change and improvement in your life. Huge here, where a lot of change, a lot of growth can take place. Now, with this Venusian energy that we have here, this is a great time for business, right? And there's a lot here that is needed in terms of expenditure or in terms of letting go of something old that no longer serves you, helping you to level up in this way. But this becomes very difficult where this is a slow moving process for you to go through. And so there's a lot here that needs to be released and let go of in order for this slow process to take place. Remember that the 3rd house and the 11th house are houses that grow with time. And so there's a lot here in terms of, once again, letting go of these things that no longer serve you to make room for something new, as Venus is here in the 12th house in this space of closure. We also have the moon that is shifting in here along with Uranus. Big changes that can take place for those of you with a Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant, with Venus controlling your 1st house along with your 6th house. Again, a lot that you're clearing out, a lot that you're working through at this time that is no longer serving you. So facing these difficulties, facing these challenges, making that choice to release and let go is huge. And this can affect your health, as we are talking about this 12th house and this 6th house. Big areas of health and improvement for you. We also have the sun and Mercury that is shifting through here. The sun is a positive planet for those of you with the Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant, as it is controlling your 4th house. There is a lot here that you are trying to find some comfort, trying to find some closure with, trying to find some peace with. Once again, a lot of releasing and letting go that needs to take place for those of you with a Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant. Now, for those of you with a Leo moon or Leo ascendant, Venus is going to be in your ninth house throughout this transit. This is a huge opportunity to level up in your career, to use your skills, to use your education, to use your knowledge that you have to work towards your goals and achievements that you have set for yourself. So, once again, we have this activation happening between your third and your 11th house, where these are money houses. These are business related houses, right? So this is a huge time to work towards the things that you're trying to achieve here in your field of business. Now we have the sun that is transiting through here as well. And the sun is your chart ruler. Very auspicious, as the sun will be transiting through this ninth house of fortune and good karma. And so there's a lot here where you can level up, where you can be your greatest version, where you can achieve the things that you want with your chart ruler in this very positive placement. We also are going to have Mercury, the moon, and Uranus transit through here as well. A lot of changes, a lot of shifts that can take place for you with all of this going on here. Again, we have this mercurial energy that is controlling this 11th house for you. So there's a lot that is being gained through business. We have the 11th house, we have the 10th house, we have the 3rd house that are all being lit up through this process here. So this is huge. We also have the 2nd house, which is another money house. So again, for those of you with a Leo moon, Leo ascendant, there's a lot that is prospering. There's a lot that is happening here in terms of wealth, in terms of career that many of you are focused on, especially if you are doing anything in terms of communication, writing, publishing. This can flourish as this Venus is transiting through your 9th house. For those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant, we are starting off this transit with Venus moving through your 6th house. This is a very difficult placement, as Venus is a functional malefic for those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant, and deposited in this difficult house of challenges, of obstacles, of your work and your health, your daily routine. And so Venus coming into the 6th house, this creates a situation where there is a lot here that needs to be improved and worked on. You want to pay close attention to your diet and how you are taking care of yourself. Venus is a planet of luxury, of relaxation, of sweets, coming into the 6th house of health. So we want to focus heavily on how this is affecting you health-wise, especially as Venus is controlling your 12th house, which is connected to your mental health as well. So this is a huge time where you want to be careful of trying to fill a void with food, with alcohol, with anything that is pleasurable at this time. This can create some challenges and difficulties. You could also see some struggles in terms of relationships, as well as Venus is controlling your 7th house. And so you want to be careful here. There could be some potential breakups or separations happening with this transit. Any situation that is difficult, you want to work through it instead of backing out or giving up at this time. This can greatly affect you. We also have the sun, which is transiting through here. And so this can be good for your career, for your business, where a lot of you are working hard, you're working towards your goals and achievements, you're working to be the best. And so your career life can flourish in this area. We have the moon that will transit through here as well with Venus. The moon controlling that 9th house, very fortunate. The moon is one of the most beneficial planets for those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant. And so you can see some great blessings and success that comes through here in terms of your work life, in terms of your goals, your achievements, your education. Again, you want to be careful of relationships and health. this is a difficult area where you can see some unexpected results with Uranus coming through here as well. And with Mercury coming through here, remember that Mercury is your 8th house ruler, where it can bring some long lasting difficulties in terms of health and crisis in your life. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with any sort of challenges and obstacles at this time and not slacking off with this Venusian energy. This can bring some major difficulties. This also can help you in your career, in your goals, and your success, once again, with Mercury controlling your 11th house. For those of you with an Aquarius moon or Aquarius ascendant, Venus will be transiting through your 3rd house. This is very beneficial, where your speech, your communication can come off as much more graceful, much more friendly. This can be a time where you can gain some popularity, gain some influence through your speech, through your communication skills. And so, especially as Venus is aspecting over to your 9th house, using your skills, using your knowledge, this can come off as very harmonious and can get you a lot of attention at this time. Venus is also going to be here with the moon being a little bit of a difficult planet for those of you with an Aquarius moon or Aquarius ascendant. You want to be cautious here of your health, making sure that everything is in check. With the moon controlling your 6th house, you can see some complications or challenges that can arise. And so facing any sort of conflicts or difficulties at this time is beneficial for you, as things can worsen if you leave it on the back burner. We have the sun that is controlling your 7th house as well. And so you can see some improvements in relationships as the sun will be with Venus. This is very auspicious for those of you with an Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius moon, as far as business partnerships, as far as romantic relationships, or simply just relating to other people in general. You can see your relationships flourish in this area. We are also going to have Mercury and Uranus that will come into this conjunction with Venus as well. And so this becomes a very prominent time where you can see some growth, you can see some improvement in this area with this mercurial energy that comes in for you. We have this Gemini energy controlling your 5th house, very auspicious. And we have this Libra energy that is controlling your 9th house. And so this is a huge time of using the skills that you have, using the things that you have to work towards the goals in your life, to work towards your success. You can see a lot of improvement in this area of being more practical, being more logical, using your knowledge, using your skills, using your education with this 5th and 9th house activation to work towards your goals. So Mercury is acting as a very auspicious planet throughout this transit of Venus and Aries. Let's go ahead and finish off here for those of you with a mutable sign. So starting off here for those with a Gemini moon or Gemini ascendant, Venus will be transiting through your 11th house. This is very auspicious. You can gain a lot of wealth and gains during this time, especially as Venus is a friend to Mercury. So this is a great time for your wealth, your career, your status to improve in this area. This is very beneficial for those of you with a Gemini moon or Gemini ascendant. Now we do have Taurus that is controlling your 12th house, and so you can find yourself losing things. You can find yourself having some expenditures at this time. But remember that Libra is also a beneficial planet for you as it's controlling your 5th house. And so this is a huge time where letting go of old things that no longer serve you makes room for you to grow and to gain more in life. A lot that is happening in terms of closing the door on an old chapter and making room for a new chapter in your life for those of you with a Gemini moon or Gemini ascendant. And we also have the moon that is shifting through here. This is a difficult planet for those of you. You want to watch your spending. You want to watch your wealth and security, making sure that you're only spending on things that are absolutely necessary. We have the sun that is transiting through here, so your communication is going to help you tremendously in your career. We also have Uranus that is moving through here, so you can see some unexpected results. This can create a situation where one moment you are receiving a lot of gains, and the next moment this is falling down. And so you don't want to lose hope with this Uranus energy, as it's bringing all of these unexpected events that can take place for you, as this can lead you to some major growth and improvement in your life. Moving on to those of you with a Virgo moon or Virgo ascendant. Venus will be transiting through your 8th house. This is a very difficult placement for Venus. For a lot of you, you want to be careful of your health. This 8th house being about long-term health problems and moments of crisis and sudden events. Venus coming in here can land you into some trouble. So you want to pay attention to anything along these lines, especially as Venus is controlling your 2nd house of your food intake, making sure that everything that you are taking in is beneficial to you at this time. We also have Venus controlling your 9th house, so this can be very good for you in terms of spiritual growth and improvement. You can find yourself going through a very deep transformation with all of this planetary activity that will take place here in your 8th house. So we will have the sun joining in on this as well. The sun is a very difficult planet as it is controlling your 12th house, where you can see some potential losses where you have to give a lot of energy away. This is a time where you want to make sure that everything that you are giving away is serving your highest, greatest good. This is a time where you want to be careful about frivolous expenses, as this can greatly affect you with this sitting in your 8th house of sudden events. We have the moon that is shifting through here as well. The moon being a very auspicious planet for you. So again, there's a lot that you can gain in terms of wealth, security, with this 8th house being the house of shared resources as well. And we have Uranus coming through here, where this is already a house of sudden ups and downs, and Uranus being a planet of the unexpected, you can find yourself in some difficult situations. So again, you want to take great care of your health, make sure that everything is in order, that you're not frivolously spending things or putting out expenses that do not serve your highest, greatest good, and paying attention to any potential joint finances or shared resources as well. For those of you with a Sagittarius moon or Sagittarius ascendant, Venus will be transiting through your 5th house. This is very auspicious. You can find yourself really enjoying some fun activities and sports, and really enjoying yourself in terms of working towards projects and long-term goals at this time. You can prosper in this area, and this can bring you a lot of wealth and fortune. You want to be careful though, because this is a house of enjoyment and Venus is a planet of luxury and pleasure. And so you don't want to overdo it in this area, as this could potentially land you into some trouble. The moon is also going to be joining up with this transit of Venus. The moon being a bit of a difficult planet for those of you with the Sagittarius moon or Sagittarius ascendant, where you can find yourself being a little bit more emotional at this time with some of your hobbies and activities, and even difficulties potentially around children for those of you who have children, where you can find yourself being very emotional, very sensitive, where some unexpected changes and difficulties can pop up in this area. We have the sun that's moving through here. Sun is a very auspicious planet for those of you with a Sag moon or Sagittarius ascendant. This can give you a great amount of good luck and fortune, especially in the area of education, as the sun will be transiting through this 5th house of your education, and it is controlling your 9th house of your higher education, aspecting over to your 11th house of gains. So for those of you who are graduating, those of you who are working towards educational goals, those of you who are wanting to learn a new language or to travel to a new place, to do something that is involved in education and gaining new experience and opportunities, this can open up a huge doorway for you. Uranus in here can bring some unexpected events where you can find yourself in some new and unexpected activities and hobbies and interests. You might find yourself changing hobbies, especially with Mercury that's also going to be transiting through this house as well. Now, keep in mind that Mercury is controlling your seventh house and your 10th house of career, and so your business can prosper in a huge way, especially if it is a business partnership at this time. Relationships can also prosper from this area where you can find yourself more romantic, more adventurous in this area of romantic relationships. This can also be an area for those of you focusing on business partnerships where a lot of your skills, a lot of your knowledge can tremendously help in this area. For those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant, Venus is going to be transiting through your second house. And so you want to be careful of frivolous spending and overindulgence as Venus is coming through this second house. Venus being a very luxurious planet, you can find yourself impulsively spending or splurging in this area. So you want to be careful when it comes to this, especially as Venus will be aspecting over to your eighth house. This can potentially bring up long-term health concerns. Venus also being a very difficult planet for those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant, as Venus is controlling your eighth house and your third house. We are also going to see the sun transit through this as well. So the sun can bring up some difficulties and challenges as it is controlling your sixth house. This can potentially bring up issues in terms of your daily work and routine. Again, you want to be careful of your frivolous activities and impulsive habits that can pop up in this area. This can affect your health moving through here as this is affecting the sixth house. This can also bring up issues, though, in your work life in terms of your speech with the sun there. You want to be careful of speaking in a way that is very aggressive and egotistical. This can bring up some major challenges and disputes. We are having the moon transit through here. The moon is a very auspicious planet for those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant. And so you can find yourself gaining some wealth, gaining some status, some attention from your education. For those of you who are teaching, if you are in a profession of helping others through counseling, for example, this can gain a lot of traction and attention at this time for you. But again, you want to be careful of, you can lose money just as fast as you can gain it with this Venus activity happening here in your second house. We're also going to see Mercury shift through this as well. Mercury controlling your fourth house and your seventh house can bring about some difficulties for you as a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant in terms of your connection with your family or with your romantic partners. Also, business partnerships can have some difficulties and challenges as well, once again, as it is controlling that seventh house. We are going to have Uranus come through this as well. So again, you want to be careful of any sort of impulsive behaviors or behavioral patterns that can land you into some difficulties at this time. But overall, this can be a great time for acquiring wealth through your business. So that was your breakdown of what this looks like for each of the 12 zodiac signs for Venus and Aries from April 9th through May 4th. This is going to be a huge transit in terms of your pleasure, in terms of your relationships, in terms of your wealth, in terms of the things that bring you peace and comfort. Again, if you have not checked out that first video on this transit of Venus and Aries, make sure to check that out, where I cover all of these transits that are happening throughout this whole shift of Venus and Aries. If you are interested in learning more about Vedic astrology, there's a link down below in the description along with the comments. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a thumbs up along with a comment. If there's anything that you'd like me to cover in terms of Vedic astrology, leave it down below in the comments and I will cover it in a future video. I hope you all have a great day and I want to thank you so much for joining. I will see you in the next video.